What if I told you there's a martial art so dangerous, so efficient, that it was kept secret for centuries? Unlike sport-based fighting styles that focus on tournaments and points, Silat is built purely for survival. It was designed to win real fights in the shortest time possible, using a combination of crippling strikes, ruthless counters, and deadly weapons. A trained Silat fighter doesn't just defend, they neutralize threats before the enemy even realizes what happened. In the world of combat, hesitation means death, and Silat never hesitates. Silat is a brutal combat system that has been passed down through generations of warriors, assassins, and special forces. Unlike traditional martial arts that follow predictable patterns and controlled sparring, Silat is unpredictable, adaptable, and designed for real-world survival. It thrives in chaos, close-quarters combat, and sudden ambush scenarios. Today, we're diving deep into the lethal secrets of Silat, uncovering its origins, techniques, weapons, and warrior philosophy. This is not just another martial art. This is a system designed to kill. Silat wasn't developed in peaceful monasteries or structured training halls. It was born in war. It was created by the warriors of Indonesia and Malaysia, who needed a combat system to survive jungle ambushes, knife fights, and brutal close-quarters combat. These warriors didn't have time for fancy techniques. Every move had to be fast, precise, and lethal. Unlike martial arts that evolved through ritual and sport, Silat was forged through life-or-death combat, where only the most effective techniques survived. Silat was used by elite guards, assassins, and war generals throughout history. It was a martial art that had to function anywhere, whether on muddy battlefields, wet jungle floors, or even in tight urban spaces. Warriors were trained to fight multiple opponents, counter ambushes, and strike with overwhelming force. This is why Silat techniques remain brutally effective today, because they were never designed for sport. They were designed for warriors who fought to live or die. Silat follows one brutal rule. There is no honor in combat, only survival. Unlike traditional martial arts that emphasize blocking, patience, and counterattacks, Silat is designed to shut down an opponent instantly. Fighters are trained to target weak points, the throat, eyes, groin, and joints, ensuring that one strike is all it takes to disable an enemy. Silat doesn't rely on power or strength. Instead, it uses angles, leverage, and psychological warfare to break an opponent's will before they even land a hit. Silat also uses deception as a weapon. Fighters learn to fake movements, create openings, and bait their opponents into mistakes. A Silat practitioner can pretend to retreat, then suddenly launch a devastating counterattack. This is what makes Silat so unpredictable. It doesn't follow the traditional rules of combat. It attacks the enemy's mind just as much as their body, forcing them to react out of fear and confusion before striking with deadly precision. Silat warriors are not just hand-to-hand combat experts, they are masters of weapon combat. One of the most feared weapons in Silat is the Karambit, a small curved blade designed to rip through flesh with surgical precision. Unlike a straight knife, the Karambit allows for unpredictable slicing angles, making it one of the most feared weapons in close-quarters combat. Then there's the Kris dagger, a legendary weapon with a wavy blade designed to inflict massive internal damage. A single stab from a Kris doesn't just pierce, it twists, tearing apart flesh from the inside. And for those who prefer raw power, the Golok, a machete-like blade, can cut through both armor and bone. But the most terrifying aspect of Silat? A true Silat fighter doesn't need a weapon, because everything is a weapon. A belt, a pen, a cloth, or even the environment itself can be turned into a tool of destruction. Silat is not just about physical combat, it's about mental domination. A true Silat master doesn't wait for the fight to start. They begin winning before the first punch is thrown. Through intimidation, deception, and tactical movement, Silat fighters create an atmosphere of fear and unpredictability. This psychological edge forces opponents to hesitate, second-guess their decisions, and fall into traps. And in combat, even a split second of doubt can mean the difference between survival and defeat. One of the ways Silat achieves this is through unorthodox movements and deceptive footwork. A fighter may appear to be retreating, only to suddenly switch angles and counterattack with brutal force. They may use feints and subtle hand movements to confuse the enemy, forcing them into defensive positions while exposing their own weaknesses. This ability to control the enemy's emotions and reactions makes Silat one of the most unpredictable and dangerous combat systems ever created. Silat's effectiveness hasn't gone unnoticed. Special forces, law enforcement, and military units around the world have integrated Silat into their combat training. Why? Because in the modern battlefield, speed, efficiency, and close-quarters combat skills can mean the difference between life and death. Unlike sport-based martial arts that rely on rules and point scoring, Silat techniques are designed for high-risk operations where hesitation can be fatal. Silat is especially effective in urban warfare and confined spaces, where traditional martial arts often fail. Counter-terror units, bodyguards, and special ops teams train in Silat because of its ability to neutralize threats instantly. Silat's focus on rapid weapon disarms, multiple opponent takedowns, and silent stealth techniques makes it invaluable in modern combat scenarios. Whether it's disabling an armed attacker, executing a quick escape, or eliminating threats before they escalate, Silat's battlefield-tested strategies remain as deadly today as they were centuries ago. One of the most fascinating aspects of Silat is its animal-based combat techniques, which mimic the movements, instincts, and raw power of nature's most lethal predators. These styles are not just about imitation, they are refined combat strategies that have been tested in life-or-death fights. Each animal style in Silat brings a unique advantage, making fighters adaptable to any combat situation. The Harimau, tiger style, focuses on low stances, powerful takedowns, and relentless aggression. Practitioners fight like a tiger stalking its prey, moving close to the ground, clawing, sweeping, and pouncing with sudden explosive attacks. The Ular, snake style, on the other hand, emphasizes fluidity, deception, and lightning-fast counterstrikes. Snake-style fighters use joint locks, nerve attacks, and unpredictable movements to coil around their enemies, striking at their most vulnerable moments. Whether using tiger-like brute force or snake-like cunning, Silat fighters become unpredictable, unstoppable predators in combat. Now that you understand the lethal power of Silat, the real question is, should you learn it? If you're looking for a martial art that is practical, effective, and designed for real-world survival, Silat is for you. Unlike sport-based systems that focus on competition and rules, Silat is about winning by any means necessary. It teaches you how to defend yourself in real-life situations, whether against armed attackers, multiple opponents, or surprise ambushes. However, Silat is not for the weak-hearted. This martial art requires mental discipline, physical endurance, and a warrior's mindset. It is not about showmanship, it's about survival. Training in Silat means learning how to break bones, disable opponents, and take control of life-threatening situations. If you're ready to embrace the mindset of a warrior, develop deadly skills, and train like elite combat fighters, then Silat is the path for you. But if you're looking for a traditional, structured, and rule-based martial art, this is not the one. Silat is not just a martial art. It is a weapon, a strategy, and a way of life. It has been tested in battlefields, ambushes, and street fights for centuries, proving itself to be one of the most dangerous combat systems ever created. It is fast, ruthless, and unstoppable, a martial art built for pure efficiency and survival. In the world of hand-to-hand combat, Silat is one of the most feared arts, and now you know why. Now that you've learned the secrets of Silat's lethal techniques, deadly weapons, and warrior mindset, what will you do with this knowledge? Are you ready to take your combat training to the next level? If you want to see more about Silat's techniques, training methods, and real-world applications, let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to like, share, and subscribe for more deadly martial arts content. This is Silat, the art of survival.